start, for those who don't know you, how would you describe your music?
Sexy.
Angry.
Sexy, angry.
It's kind of like it's just metal with a big electronic pop twist. Not like shit pop like metalcore stuff. Like good pop, you know. We like our Prodigies, we like our Britneys, we like Kylie.
We like our Gaga.
We like Gaga. You know, that stuff where it's kind of like pop but like very, very cool and well crafted. And then we also
Love metal.
like a lot of Slipknot, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, thrash.
So if you pour all that into a pot and mix it together, it's something like that.
Or thrash metal or something. Maybe we should get thrash metal, thrash pop.
Thrash pop.
Thrash pop's kind of cool actually. Maybe we should make a word for it.
There you go.
I'm gonna start writing out a t-shirt.
Thrash pop.
Thrash pop.
Amazing. And so can you tell us about the origins of the band? Like, how did you meet? How did the band start?
So Sam was in a band previously, and I used to dabble in gig photography. I'd bring all these like old film cameras to gigs and just shoot stuff from the mosh pit. And I had this thing called Girl in the Pit, and I ended up shooting Sam's old band a couple of times. And then when his other band was coming to a natural end, we kind of met and got in touch at that point, and he was like, do you play an instrument?
Mookie was modelling in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And I was like really bummed out, obviously, because I spent all my young adult life doing music, so I didn't really know what to do. So I wanted to work with a female vocal or a femme vocal. You know, we both love like Riot Girl and like fucking Monica's and all that stuff, don't we? So the idea of doing music again with it just being like the same fucking boys in a band just didn't seem exciting to me. So yeah, I hit Milky up when she was in Japan working with some like really bad songs I'd written. Playing on the acoustic guitar in my bathroom. Look at this, keep playing an instrument. And then we started hanging out in London when she got back. We went to a gig together, started getting to know each other, went to some parties, listened to loads of Limp Bizkit and loads of Linkin Park, and we were like, we should
do something like this.
But you know how it started very naturally. You know, first it'd be like go over Milky's for a drink and a hang out. Then it would be like go over Milky's for a drink and a hang out and be like, oh by the way I wrote this, listen. And then it was like go over Milky's for a drink and a hang out, but you know.
I brought a microphone this time.
Yeah, I put a microphone on like my laptop and like my interfaces in my backpack. And it kind of like done it like that. Then it got to a point where we were doing a bit and I was like, well, I'm not cycling with all this shit in my bag anymore. So you're gonna come to mine where I have all my stuff set up and all my guitars. And we done that. We just kept writing songs for like
just out of our living room and our bedrooms and bathrooms and
yeah, for
on
a year.
the street.
For a year we were just doing that. And then we made this really shit pop punk band called Sargasm. And then we were like, oh my god, we fucking suck. So we burnt all of that and then we were like, let's start again and do Wargasm. And that's kind of it.
Okay.
Natural though, it should always be natural.
Okay. And I wondered, how do you work together? Like, do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the melody? How do you work? How does the song?
It usually starts with either a riff or a rough concept, maybe like an idea for what we want the like sounds to sound like. We like a lot of soundscaping stuff, so sometimes if we hear one specific sound that kind of like sparks what we want the entire song to sound like, that's a good starting point.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I'm like wondering about, you just kind of hear a lyric in your head or you know, you say something and it just starts repeating. Then you build it a bit and then eventually you hear a noise or like a riff pops up in your head or a bit of music pops up in your head and you're like, oh wait, these two bits fit together. It's a bit weird. It's like having like a million hard drives in your brain, isn't it? And you're like, just like, what goes where? Connect the dots kind of shit. So that's it, yeah, and then we build it together and we produce it ourselves. Like we work with some other producers, various other people, but we always stay involved, and when we like record a guitar, I normally nick the guitar bit and put it back on my laptop and start fucking it up, you know. Just so it's kind of like, it starts like a rock song, but then it gets remixed, I guess.
Okay. And where do you get your inspiration from, whether it's for the lyrics or the music?
We take a lot of inspiration from movies.
Yeah, a lot of movies, a lot of art these days, actually. So one of the cool things about Instagram is, like, if you follow the right people, every day when you wake up and
You know,
like,
a pretty well curated feed.
yeah, you have a coffee and a cigarette, like you look through it and it's like looking at a fucking art gallery, you know, it's like a digital art gallery. Sometimes people have said things and I'm like, I quite like that sentence, and then I try and write a few more
Similar to it.
and then I'm like, actually I like my one more now than I like their one, so I keep adding bits to it.
Okay, and you were talking about movies. What kind of movies?
Well, we just made a music video for our song called Fuck Star, and that was basically a Mad Max.
That's sci-fi
homage.
and cult movies.
Yeah.
We done a track with a band called Enter Shikari, and a lot of our I don't know if you know the band Enter Shikari. They're like very well spoken about politics and things like that. They're definitely a force for good. But we kind of went in as like the devil's advocate, kind of more pessimistic, which I think is correct for our generation. And a lot of that was inspired by a movie called Event Horizon, which is fucking awesome. Have you seen it?
No.
It's scary.
It's great. It's a spaceship.
It's good.
Okay.
Everything's like, we've opened a portal to hell, we're in space, and I'm like, yeah! So yeah, like sci-fi and cult movies, you know, sci-fi is quite fun because there's a lot of like cool concepts in it. I know it gets seen as nerdy, but, you know, fucking like Blade Runner and Replicants and shit like that, and like dystopian futures, I think there's a lot of like original thought.
There's a lot of good source material to work from.
Yeah.
Whether it's the clothes in the movie, or the characters, or the dialogue, or the colours, or the screenplay, even the words that they're saying. You know.
The thing is with like rom-coms and stuff like that is they can have a story, but with sci-fi it kind of has to have some sort of social commentary. It has to be involved with like, you know, politics stuff. Otherwise, sci-fi stories don't really work. You know, so that's, you know, when you're living in a time that's as politically charged as we are now, it's fun, I guess. It kind of feels more relevant.
Yeah. And talking about your video clips, how involved are you in those? Like, how in the making?
We normally write them out in like one day. I just go, oh, quick, and then
We don't really write the idea and then
we
hand
write
it off
out
to
in
someone
5
else.
minutes, though, isn't it? It's
We usually come up with the idea, we try to communicate it to someone who actually knows what they're doing, and then they kind of take the reins on, you know, a director or a videographer.
and then we complain about the edits a million times.
Yeah.
Just so it's as good as we can get.
But you know, we don't for a lot of the videos that we've made, we've had kind of shoestring budgets, so we've had to get creative with it, and you know.
Dude, it's such a fucking nightmare working with like music industry budgets for videos
Really?
these days.
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
they're
like-
very small, and we have a lot of big ideas.
We were
so,
only just on our own. We've only done 2 videos with the label. Everything else has just been us.
Yeah.
So that was hard. Like we got this one for a song called Backyard Bastards, and it's like Milky came up with a dance routine with 2 of our mates. So they did this cheerleader thing, and then I had to like go nick a guitar and set it on fire and shit like that. It was just shot by one guy. It was just our friend.
Just our mate with a camera.
Running around. I think the only thing we like really paid for was renting a massive house. Like,
But
was
that
a really
was
posh house.
Yeah.
It's cool though, right?
But luckily it was a friend, so we kind of got it for a lot less than we should have.
But yeah,
it's
but-
all stuff like that. It's just us and our friends kind of coming together and trying to make these huge ideas happen with not a huge amount of money.
I think budgets these days are less for videos, like even when you do get the label money, because there's not really music TV in the UK anymore,
Yeah.
especially with streaming and stuff like that.
Music videos aren't as big a deal anymore, unfortunately.
No, it's quite sad. You basically create a 3-minute thing that you're just going to cut into 30-second clips and chuck on Instagram or TikTok. You know,
You're depressing me.
what?
You're depressing me.
The
Stop
world
it.
is depressing.
I know.
No. You talked about Limp Bizkit earlier, and you went on tour with these guys. How did you end up on that tour? How was it?
Fuck knows. I have no idea, but we got the call one day and I was like, yeah, okay, cool, let's fucking do it.
It's a pretty good phone call, huh?
It was a great phone call. I was dying in bed of food poisoning or
We-
something.
we
and
really
it
like-
kind of perked me up, you know?
We really liked Limp Bizkit, so it was, to do your first American tour is normally like really expensive and a nightmare, but they were like, do you want to come on tour with us and play some arenas, which helps the budget. So we were like, okay, so this isn't a nightmare. And because it was like such long drives and stuff, they gave us a nice, well, we had to rent a nice like bus
Van
thing
wagon.
that you could sleep in. It was like a little truck.
You say nice, but
It was fucking lovely, I loved it.
it was
And then every night we
Bumpy.
were like, what do you want to do? Do you want to play a gig and watch Limp Bizkit? Which is kind
Yeah.
of like as good as life gets for us. Because it's Limp Bizkit.
Amazing.
I don't know what I
Gotta
enjoyed
stop
more.
smiling.
Yeah, I don't know what I enjoyed more, playing the arenas or watching Limp Bizkit every night.
I think I actually preferred watching Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, me too.
That's so cool. Is there any project coming soon that you could tease us? A single or
Well,
video clip?
we've got a mixtape coming out on the 9th of September called Explicit, the mixtape. That'll have some new stuff on it, some secret stuff, some old remixed stuff. And then the album will be coming out next year at some point, to be confirmed.
Yeah.
And what can we expect from this album?
Pretty good collaborations.
Interesting.
I think it'll be. I think it'll feel very much like the 90s and the early 90s back. I think it'll feel like, hopefully, to me, there's like an energy missing from the music scene at the moment. Hopefully, it's like the missing piece that fits in that puzzle. Hopefully, maybe not. In my hearing, go, for God's sake, this fucking puzzle piece doesn't go anywhere.
Well, thank you.
Is that
Thank
it?
you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much.